Howdy, folks. I'm pluralistic plutonium pluckily plying pliant plows.
I'm Amber.
And here are more pliant plows for us to ply. I don't know what we're plying them with, but apparently Amber is into bribery.
It doesn't say anything about bribery.
Well, plying people is like, well, I mean, I guess plying isn't necessarily bribery.
And besides, you're the one who is plying the plows, not me.
I see. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Showing Up to My Sister's Birth Dressed Up as a Fairy? I'm Holly, I'm a 26-year-old female, and I have a sister, Haley, who's also 26. I'm using her account because my husband knows my username. Anyways, my sister gave birth to her sons, Hudson and Anthony, last month, and had decided to make me the godmother. We both loved Fairy Odd Parents when it came out in 2001, and I thought it would be cute to show up in a fairy costume. I glued wings to the back and made a floating crown out of some wire. Haley thought that it was adorable and said that she loved it, but my husband was not amused and said that I was acting childish, and I'm a grown woman who shouldn't be playing pretend. I thought that he was being dramatic, but a month later, and he still thinks that I embarrassed him in front of the nurses. So am I the jerk? I think that I was in the right because I got a lot of compliments from the other residents in the waiting room, and the nurse in my sister's room said that she thought that I looked cute. But I do understand how it might have been a bit embarrassing for my husband, so I'm just wondering if I should have left that for a visit. If you were wondering, it's a pink sundress with some wings glued to the back with some white sandals. It wasn't anything extra. Someone mentioned that they saw a TikTok about this, and I wanted to mention that I took inspiration, and I didn't come up with the godmother bit on my own. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Opie's husband could just not be there if he's that embarrassed.
I think that it was a cute idea. It's not like he was forced to dress up too. Like if she was like, you have to dress up as a fairy as well. You have to dress up as the other fairy odd parent. Then I could understand why he would be upset and see like, this is embarrassing me. But yeah, I mean, if he was so embarrassed, he didn't have to show up to the hospital.
Yeah, like, this isn't about him. He's making it all about him. Like, this is about OP's sister and the babies, and that's it. And OP's sister thought it was cute, and her comfort and enjoyment is what matters in the moment.
Yeah. And I can certainly understand, like, you shouldn't go out of your way to make your partner uncomfortable. But this is I think, a largely kind of a him problem. And maybe this needs to be a larger discussion on why these kinds of things are embarrassing to him. Maybe he needs to go through some individual counseling therapy and work on some of these internal feelings about why, someone else's actions make him feel embarrassed.
Well, and it's really sad too, this mindset that, because he's, oh, you're a 26-year-old woman, like, act like an adult. There's nothing wrong with dressing up. Like, I really wish people would give themselves more liberty to enjoy life and to wear costumes when it feels fun and not relegate yourself to the boring adulthood. Like, the nice thing about adulthood is you get to decide how you dress. Your parents don't have any say anymore, but we just box ourselves into these little tiny molds because we're supposed to be adults.
Yeah, I just feel like he's taking himself a little too seriously here. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Temporalia says, not the jerk, your husband sounds boring. Is he often embarrassed by you? And OP replies, no, not really. And Marmus Matter 3497 says, does your husband even like you? And OP replies, I would like to think so. And Photo Beers and Teach says, not the jerk, your husband sounds like a party pooper. Your sister loved it, and that's what matters. And Winter Day 6836 says, that sounded adorable. Great moment between sisters. And Stinstin555 says, yep, absolutely adorable. OP, not the jerk. But correction, you are not the godmother. You are the fairy godmother. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making my oldest pay back a $3,000 dress that she ruined? My oldest, Bethany, 16, has a step-sibling. Maria, 14, almost 15. Bethany and I are white, while my husband and Maria are Mexican descent. They have been in each other's lives since they were 6 and 7. Overall, the relationship is good until recently. Maria's quinceanera is coming up, and my husband and his ex-wife took her to get a dress. The dress and alterations came out to about $3,000. My daughter has been very jealous of the whole party. I've informed her that it's part of the culture, just like when she had a huge Sweet 16 party with her friends. I spent more time with her to try to make her feel better about it and got her own much cheaper dress for the party. The party was supposed to be in 2 weeks, but my daughter, after an argument with Maria about the TV, she scribbled Sharpie all over the expensive dress and ripped the back. Long story short, everyone was mad. I gave money to my husband and his ex to try and get a new dress ASAP. I informed my daughter that she will need to get a job to pay back the full price of the dress as punishment. We got in a huge argument over it, and the whole situation isn't fair, and that I'm choosing Maria and being a huge jerk. Am I being a jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Maria is old enough not to destroy people's property because she's angry. I do think it's fair for her to face consequences. Now, regardless of that, it is worth examining if there are areas of favoritism. I understand this is a specific cultural event, and if everything outside of this is equal, then she's just being a little bit of a brat right now. But if there are places where you have favored her stepsister, that might be worth looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's fair to look into this and investigate and see if she feels like she's being overshadowed by her sister, right? I mean, you can sit down and talk with her and be like, well, do you feel like your sister is being treated better than you? And I think that family counseling might be a really good place to go because there's clearly a lot of resentment here. Like, to go ahead and ruin something that's a $3,000 dress really screams to me that there may be more going on here than what this letter can really reveal. Certainly, I think that her paying back the cost of the dress is more than fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her getting a part-time job, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, I think that that's a lot of people at her age are doing anyways, and she might actually find that she likes working anyways. So, or maybe not, who knows.
I mean, there's always too, if she's really busy during the school year, there's always summer break.
Yeah.
If it's not a make or break type of thing, you don't need the $3,000 ASAP, you could give her a little grace and let her work over the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I wasn't thinking about the schoolwork and stuff like that. And if it does interfere with her schoolwork, then you certainly don't want to have her grades take a hit because of work, right? But a lot of people do work 1 or 2 hours after school as well, and that's usually not a huge deal. I mean, some people, do sports and whatnot after school for longer than 1 or 2 hours. So it's a balance, right? I mean, you're always going to have to balance things in life, and maybe this is a good opportunity for her to learn how to make those balances, right?
Mm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Fwoggy2 says, speaking as a parent, albeit without stepchildren, a firm not the jerk. Bethany is old enough to understand that accusations. Bethany is old enough to understand that actions have consequences, and she's just learned a major one the hard way. Kudos for you to stepping in and resolving the situation in a fair way to both Maria and her parents, and in addition for both allocating more time to Bethany before this happening and insisting that she get a job to pay for the reparations. At her age, Bethany is going to find that it takes a long time to earn $30,000, but the experience will do her good for finding a job after school or college. Plus, it will teach her the value of money, and depending on a job, may even mature her too. And Idra Gafbra says, assuming Bethany finds a job that pays the federal minimum wage in the US, it will take her 414 hours of work. It will take her about a year to pay off if she works 8 hours a week. I'm not entirely sure paying back is the right approach here. Taking her phone, tablet, electronics away from her for a very long time might be easier to accomplish than asking a 16-year-old for $3,000. I mean, this comment is downvoted a lot. And I mean, 8 hours a week isn't even a huge amount of time. I mean, I think a lot of minors are able to work up to 20 hours a week or something like that, part-time.
Yeah, something like that. And I mean, again, she may not need to pay back the full balance. If she works really hard at this, you can have grace and leniency if you want to. But the important part is that she learns that she can't willy-nilly destroy things because she's mad.
Yeah, I think she needs to understand the value of $3,000, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it takes her almost a year to pay it back, then that's going to be a hard lesson,
Mm-hmm.
but that's still a lesson that hopefully she can take to heart about, oh, $3,000 is a lot of money. I don't want to go and destroy $3,000 worth of stuff.
Right. Well, and that's also assuming she doesn't get any money for birthdays or Christmas or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason why she couldn't use birthday money to pay it back.
Yeah. I don't know that OP should force her
No,
to
no.
use that money,
But if
but
she wants to pay it off faster.
yeah. All right, folks, and our last letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Requesting That My Wife Speak to Her Boss About Having Photos Up in Her Office? Context, my wife is a 29-year-old female, and she works at a smaller company and mainly works from home. They have to go in once a week. A few weeks ago, I came into her office to have lunch with her. She was showing me around when we walked past the director of her department's office. She popped in her head and said hello and introduced us. Well, I glanced in the office and immediately noticed that there was a picture of my wife on his wall. I didn't say anything, but mentioned it at lunch. For more context, before he was the director, him and my wife worked more closely together, so they had a friendly relationship. My wife said that the picture was an inside joke because his office is right by the printer and bathroom. She said that she'd joke that she always feels like she has to say hey when she walks past, so they are constantly saying hi, something like that. She printed a picture of her waving, saying that she now doesn't have to do that anymore. He hung up the picture. He has also a picture of her holding a birthday sign with other co-workers, but her face is in the middle. So really, two pictures. He also has other random things hanging up, and a picture of his wife on his desk. I try to let it go, but I think it's just weird and bordering on inappropriate. Like, what are people without context thinking? I explained to her and said that it makes me uncomfortable, and if she could just maybe talk to him. She claims that it would be making it something that it's not, and make work more uncomfortable. They've never chatted outside work and have a professional relationship, but I feel like if she won't talk to him, then maybe I should. She said that I would be a jerk if I did that and potentially hurt her career. So am I the jerk, or is this inappropriate as I'm thinking? Update. Okay, I'm the jerk and I still don't feel great about it or think that it's super appropriate, but I will try to let it go and apologize to my wife for even suggesting that I would do that. Alright folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Opie has seen the error in his ways, but I do think that he was making this out to be something it wasn't. None of these photos sounded like they were inappropriate for a workplace. They were
Yeah.
just kind of, a gag photo and then a group photo. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where her position is in the group photo. Like, someone's got to stand in the middle.
Yeah, again, I think that he is making a big deal out of this, and I'm glad that he did see that his request is inappropriate. This would have been different if it was like multiple photos and more
His
than
wall,
like
wall is just plastered with pictures of
yeah,
her.
like if there had been a wall plastered of photos of her or other things like that, and like them like hanging off of each other and all kinds of things, I could definitely understand the discomfort with that, right? And this seems more like just pretty innocent dynamics. So I don't think that there's anything to be concerned about here at all. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Wife, Louie, are you awake? There's a monster downstairs in the living room. Husband, no, I'm asleep.
You know, I can't blame him for being like that. If there's a monster downstairs in your living room, what are you going to do about it? Depends on the kind of monster, I guess. If it's like Cthulhu, no, don't go downstairs. If it's like a bear, that's a bear is a kind of a monster. Don't go downstairs. But if it's a little tiny cute monster, then you probably still don't want to go downstairs because the cute ones are always the worst. And I have Mega Mint. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday.
Happy Halloween Eve.
Happy Halloween Eve. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it in the form of a wish to a fairy godmother.
Dear fairy godmother, I wish for you to grant my husband the self-confidence to not care about what I wear.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.